Whenever a new business starts, a small and medium business, it's very easy for them, to go into cloud instead of having their own data center or asking, somebody to provision their servers and data centers. It's very easy to go on the cloud. But the moment the companies which grow start in the cloud, they grow very fast because it's easy to provision. So when they grow or scale fast, their cloud bill goes really, really, really huge, right? But the problem is not only that they are scaling up. Problem is in cloud there is no visibility. How much you have provisioned, how much your instances are being utilized, how much are dangling instances. There's no governance per se in the cloud right now. So organizations are dealing with that dilemma that when they're scaling up whenever they are a startup, it's easy to start in cloud, and when they scale up, their cloud bill is completely out of whack, which they have no idea, and they have no idea how to control it. So if I may list, what are the pain points in the industry, there are these three. Number one, there's no visibility. They don't know what they're doing. There are a lot of dangling instances, they don't know who provisioned it, and they don't know how to shut it down. Simple as that. Somebody provisioned a server, they don't know what that server is doing. They don't know, whether we should shut it down or not or save money. Then, when they have a multi-cloud, they don't know, how to go to multi-cloud at one place, because every cloud has their different interface. And they have to hire, people for all those multi-clouds so that they can look into only to shut their instances down or bring it up. Even if they can do that, there are a lot of tools in the industry, which can provide you all the access to multi-cloud from one single pane of glass. But the problem is, this is not only shutting down and bringing it back. How to do right sizing, whether your instance you need it or not, how much extra you are paying, for that you need to do something more intelligent, right? You need to do some forecasting. So that what load you are going to, how you're scaling up, how your customer base is growing up, what your need is going to be in the future, so that you can right size that instance, either up or down, upscaling or downscaling. Not only that, organizations even face very basic questions. People ask them, who this instance belongs to, right? And there's no answer actually in the organizations. That we don't know this instance belongs to finance, or it belongs to marketing, or it belongs to pure IT, or they don't know. They're not been tagged actually. So there's no product which can discover all the instances and let you tag all those, right? The third major pain point is that when organizations spun these instances, they're mostly on demand. They don't even know that the reserve instances exist, which can save them about 25%. And there are also another instance called Spot, and all these major cloud have a Spot instances, which can save them 95%. Their bill can go as low as 5%. Most of the small to medium organizations, even bigger organizations, they have no idea that these different types of cloud offerings are there. Even if they are there, to find them and to find that what matches my need is a pain in the butt. When it comes to now multi-cloud, you multiply with the complexity of those multi-cloud. So what we have done is in Cloud Cost Hub, what we have done is we have looked at the major pain points which industry has. For example, visibility, tagging of those instances, for load forecasting, and then recommending based on those load forecasts how they can right size their instances. They can do that automatically if they trust the software, and if there are some workloads which are predictable, the software can with the certainty say that I can upgrade and downgrade these instances with that much assurance level. We can do that automate. But if there are few workloads which you are never sure of, and you want a human to look at it, so our software actually allows you to do that too. So it's basically optimizing your entire cloud infrastructure, multi-cloud infrastructure from one single pane of glass, where you can put governance around it. Like our software, for some instances, for example, if you are going to provision 3-year reserve instance, and it's a pretty big instance, let's say $4 an hour. Now you can, do the math in your head, how much costly it is. And if somebody goes ahead and provisions that instance, and now there is no going back. It's a 3-year reserve instance, and you cannot really go back. You cannot undo it. You have to use it. Your cloud bill is going to be about $15,000, right? So $15,000 is done. So that's why we have put multi-layered workflow management, and we have integrated with industry best software for workflow, so that your workflow becomes your governance part, right? So we have addressed most of the industry pain points in this software. Well, that's a $1 billion question. Nobody can actually assess. There's a lot of guesstimation, but you can imagine, how the how the different clouds are growing. Let me give you a very simple and small example. For example, AWS's CEO, not AWS's, this Expedia, which is a vacation booking, application on the web. Their CEO was invited to AWS reInvent event last year, I believe. And he was very proud to say that we have saved a lot of money, almost 50% money, when we went into AWS. And the next thing what he said astonished me, that his bill was about $960 million, right? And if that is saving, what is the actual cost? How much servers they can spin up? And when we looked at it, they were not actually utilizing the Spot instances. They were not automatically moving their workloads to Spot and back and forth. So they were not actually getting what different multi-cloud offers, different clouds offer on cost saving. So that $960 million can be reduced by at least 50%. So imagine the cost savings organizations can have, and that's one organization. Now you can do the math in your head, look at other big organizations.